before I start, I just want to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you that interact with my videos and subscribe to the channel. It's much appreciated. For every time that someone watches one of these videos, it enables me to reinvest into the pigeons. So obviously on the last video, we had a bad training toss. We ended up only 6 missing from that training toss, and they've been again today, and they all turned up at once, so that's great. Addressing the cat issue that I've been having, I've invested in a few things that obviously YouTube have paid me for you watching my videos, so again, thank you. So first thing that I've got is an electric fence. So this is I bought it all separate, so this is the actual electrified part that plugs into the mains. I managed to get a mains one. All the kits were in sort of battery powered ones, you know what I mean, with the clip, so I've managed to get that. I think these are the clips. These are the isolators, I think. Yeah, so they're the isolators, well, they're the extra ones that I bought for putting fencing around. I'm just wondering if the actual attachment comes with one of them. Some of them come with a grill attachment, so might come in the other one. I'll have a little look. I'm sure there's another one that I ordered. Yeah, it might come in this one. Yeah. This one comes with the drill attachment, so when you're putting it on like your fence or you're screwing it into the wall, that drill attachment literally goes on your drill and then into that, and it allows you to screw in, save screwing it all in by hand. So we've got, I think, 120 of them clips, because we bought it separate. And then we've got 500 meters of the electrified fence, so that should be plenty. 500 meters to probably do 2 rows down the garden. I might have to go over obviously the shed as well, the wall, but yeah, all that total buying it separate came to £97.50 off Amazon, so not a bad price if it solves the problem. I did also buy a collar with a bell on it, and I've posted it through the owner's door. She didn't answer to me, probably because obviously it's the 3rd time that I've knocked over the cat. But yeah, I've posted the collar through the door with the bell on. Hopefully she'd be responsible. I did warn her last time about being a responsible cat owner. There's people with birds around, and rightfully speaking, she should have a bell on it. Hopefully I'll get to this fence in the very near future, over the next couple of days maybe. It just might need to get a few more bits for it, but yeah, I've got another order that's not Amazon related. If I can lift this box up here, this is from Pallet Pigeon Supplies. I'm not sponsored by any of the brands that I'm posting on here, just for the sake of YouTube. I'm gonna have to put this box back on the floor. My dog's whining at me. So yeah, I'm not sponsored by any of these. So what have we got? 2 7-litre antibacterial drinkers. I bought these ones because when I'm working, ready for November sort of time, so when I'm working, that I can put extra drinkers in with the stock, with breeders. We have 3 packets of Vircon-S, ready for when I do a deep clean on the shed. We torch it out, we spray everything with Vircon-S. And our 1,000 kilometre, also known as 1,000 mile tea, so that I can get this plus tonic made for you. So we've got that. We've got the Romfried Sedacol. Bella, lie down. Tell you what, pallets are always been known for wrapping things really tight and really good. So we've got the Comb Science bath salts, just ready for when the stock is starting to molt and stuff. What else have we got? That white was so heavy. Our Loft White. That's why the box is so heavy. This thing. And then I've treated the new stock section to new Nest Box grills. So 24 of them, one for each side. I found the white plastic ones kind of go brittle after a while, and obviously they were second hand when I got them with the shed. So they go brittle and you end up snapping the lugs off them. So these are a bit more flexible, these type ones. So yeah, bought them ones. I'm undecided what I'm going to do in the Widowwood side, whether I'm going to just buy plastic floor grills for the nest bowls to sit on, or whether I'm going to actually make grills for it. Yeah, we've also got on order, I think, some Emreflaxin, some Nifuromycin, some Coxy tablets, some canker tablets, some worm tablets, and also the Van den Sluis Paracure, just in case they pick anything up in the baskets or anything like that. Obviously at the end of the year, before pairing up, I like to sort of go through everything, get them tested, but also give them a routine, like sort of preventative of the E. coli salmonella sort of side of it before pairing up. So I'm looking to pair up sort of the end of November, beginning of December time this year. I don't know what's sort of happening with my young birds at the minute, but I say 7 years out of the game, people are telling me I made mistakes with the training. Maybe not. Quite a few birds were missing on the day from various different lofts. So whether it was just one of them things or maybe it was my mistake, I don't know. But you know, you're learning every day with racing pigeons. So yeah, I'd like to pair up early so that everything doesn't feel like a rush. I mean, we're on obviously the 2nd of July today. Everything feels like a rush. It's 23 days left to the first race, and I've still not got Team B ready. So I'm going to go and let Team B out now. They're probably just going to pick around the garden. They're not even up. Some of them are up, some of them are not. But as I say, the 36 that we've got back out of the 42, went training again, same spot today, and it was windy. But like, they've been out in the wind, you know, they've been ranging in that type of wind since I've had them out. So I just risked it, and yeah, they took, I think it was nearly an hour to come back, but they turned up with a batch of about 40. So they turned up with another batch of pigeons, and granted, they've come here rather than mine going to theirs. So yeah, maybe they have learned from the first training toss, but yeah, I'll keep them at that point, at the 2.3 mile point, until the pigeons are literally out the basket and straight home without messing about. I think once I do that, I can move them on. I'll move them on straight up to the 7 mile point. I think it's like 7.5 miles for me. I think I'll move them up to there. Do the same with that, keep them there. And then obviously when they start coming straight out the basket, heading straight home, no messing about, then I'll move them on to sort of the 16 mile point, which would be probably beasting wise. And then they'll go on to Whitchurch. Then they'll have a couple at Whitchurch, and then I'll put them on with my mate on his transporter, so that goes on with other pigeons and learn how to break away. I'm wondering, does anyone else's cupboards look like this? It's only the front, it's not the back, they don't go that deep. But yeah, half of this stuff I don't even use, so it's just there, just in case it's needed. Like obviously we've got in here the Trico powder, we've got U200. What type of drops are they? Don't even know what they are. Someone was packing in, still the medication. We've got gambacoxid tablets, we've got Emreflaxin tablets, Baytril tablets, trichomoniasis cure, the Van der Sluis stuff, cider vinegar. We've got the worm, which is limivizole, I think it's called. This is the stuff that we picked up the other day at Bamford's, the out of date stuff, but still get used. More U200. Strike, I'll never go without that. Always got strike in stock. This one just says respiratory, don't actually know what it is, so it won't be getting used. Fungi, golden boost, calcium, breathing, Tonic breathing. I think that one is the Aviform Ultimate Max, we'll be using that. This one is adenocoli, which says E. coli written on the top of it. Vitamin, and I've just got this thing from Bamford's the other day, Acticel. So I'm looking forward to trying that one. Potassium permanganate for the bath. And I think this is, yeah, microstatin. Obviously we've got stuff in the fridge as well. So, yeah, half it doesn't get used. Most of it doesn't get used. Our cupboards are filled like that, do you know what I mean? But what I've found is it's better to have something that you can reach for straight away if you come across a problem. Like your pigeon's got one eye cold, well I've got stuff there for that. You've got pigeons who've got, you're sneezing, well, you've got nasally in there, you've got other bits there. Your pigeon's visible canker, you've got canker treatment. You know, it's nice to have them products in stock. And the multicoloured water stuff, I'm not one for that, do you know what I mean? I want to have a different colour water every day. I think you can't beat fresh water. There's no magic potions in bottles. You can't beat fresh water, clean water, fresh water daily. You can't beat it. However, when it comes to medicating, like your pigeons are now at a crucial, my young birds especially are now at a crucial point, like where they're going to be mixing with other pigeons. You know, I want them antibiotics and I want them medications there. And granted, yeah, send off for a drop and sample if something doesn't seem right, get the results back and go, well, I've got X, Y and Z. The sensitivity test says the E. coli infection or whatever is sensitive to enrofloxacin, which is Baytril, I've got it. Sensitive to nifuromycin, I've got it. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I don't have to be spending vet prices to get this stuff, because obviously you can order it all from Spain. So yeah, I normally do that anyway. But yeah, I'm going to go and let these later young ones out now, Team B, now that the winds have died off. We'll see how they get on. I say the winds died down. There's still a little bit, but it's not as much. The trees look a lot calmer than what they were. They were bent over this morning when them birds went training. But yeah, so we'll have a little look at the young ones that have been training this morning. So yeah, the shed doesn't look empty. Still got quite a few birds in this one. 36 out of the 42 back. So yeah, there's a couple of younger ones in here that actually made it back, where a couple of the older ones didn't. Come on then. Won't be long before these are up now. Some of them are going up. I think there's 4 or 5 that are actually flying up now, and flying round. These were only weaned a fortnight ago. So I think it seems to be the later that they're bred, the quicker they come on. Do you reckon they'll see the first race? Do you reckon they'll see the second? Or will it be the third? I've closed the door, some have flew up to the trap. And some have took off, so that's another thing we're going to have to get used to, getting through the trap as well, rather than coming through the open door. I just think it's better with young birds to sort of have them picking around the garden like this and getting used to the surroundings first. See, my other young ones are just on Jerry Plus. Now, I'm wondering whether this is too light for the young ones. I've just started Team B on the other stuff, the Van Robies. This stuff, now, is this too fatty for the young birds and too much of a seed mixture? This is the junior exclusive. There's a lot of oilseed rape in there, sunflowers, there's dari, different types of maize, there's some maple in there, there's mung beans, safflower. Is that too heavy? Or do I mix that with either a depurative or a barley? Let me know in the comments. I've not got any sort of system, any feeding system. Some people that have had pigeons like all their lives, and it started with their parents or their grandparents and they've been bred into pigeons. I wasn't. So I've never actually been passed down a feeding system or anything like that. So I pretty much wing it. So yeah, you're learning every day, and I don't know if I'm doing it right or if I'm doing it wrong, but I suppose trial and error. If I don't get a feeding system given to me, it's trial and error, isn't it? So I just have to keep trying things. Some are starting to get brave now. They're up on the loft. I think that might be all of them back. I'm not too sure. I haven't counted them yet. Come on, come on. Come on in, come on. Come on in, come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, there's one in there. Come on. Must have been one missing because it just came and took the other one with it, so yeah. Got these two pen now when they finish flying. So these are actually on 24 ounces of an evening, and I think I gave them 6 ounces this morning as well. So eating Team B completely different to Team A. These are getting pretty much fed as much as they want to eat, sort of thing. There's one just gone straight in. Don't know where that other one's gone though. That one's just come straight out the sky, straight over my head and in. Close the door while I wait for that other one to finish flying. It's decided it wants to go clapping around, enjoying life. I don't know if that's one of the ones that's first time up or not, so. I've got a complete empty section there, so if these are fed and that one comes in later, I'll put it in there and feed it on its own. Or it just won't get fed, so it'll be first in tomorrow. It's having a good fly. Come on then. Through the whiting, back out, who knows the trap. And hopefully that one will go through the trap because I'm not waiting around with the door open. The stock now, the ends are just getting depurative. So today is a new day, and just took the pigeons, the young birds, for 8 mile toss. So yesterday, obviously they all come well, they all come together, and the day's beautiful today, so I thought, you know, a couple of people in the comments have said like the 2 mile is a bit too short, so I thought they've had 2 2-milers, the weather's good, take them yesterday, took them today, I let them out the basket, they done half a circle and went straight home, and they beat me home, so I'm only 2 missing. Like, they'll work their way, they're later ones anyway, they should work their way back in. They did yesterday anyway, same 2 yesterday, But yeah, at least they're up to that point now. So I'll keep them there now until I'm happy with them, and then I'll move them on a bit. So when I basketed the young birds up, I gave them a deep clean. So everything was cleaned out, everything was hoovered out. And this hoover that I've got is absolutely brilliant. It's from Screwfix. I'm using it. But if the pipe can go on there as a hoover, or it can go on the back like that as a blower. So then that's just allowed me to blow all the bloom off the walls, the ceilings, around the perches and stuff like that. Blow all the bloom out the shed, let it settle, and then hoover it up by just swapping the pipe over back onto the front. So yeah, then everything was sprayed with Pigeons, and then the birds were took training, come back to a nice clean sterilised loft. While the temperature is not too high and it's not raining, and it's going to be on Friday as well, before I go down the club I'm going to get all the other sections cleaned out, hoovered out, and disinfected with the Pigeons. It's good to keep your loft clean, free of bacteria and stuff, like, do you know what I mean? So I enjoy doing it when it's a deep clean. Not as a deep clean as what I do in the winter. So obviously before breeding and stuff like that, before pairing up, I'd be in there, I'd be wire brushing all the perches off, like the dowels in between the lift off perches, not the lift offs, the pull out trays. I'd be jet washing all the actual trays themselves because they're made of plastic, so I'd be jet washing all them. I'd be jet washing all the floor grills. With them being hardwood, they're easy to jet wash. So yeah, it's a deep clean, but it's not like an end of season deep clean, which again I do enjoy doing the end of season deep clean. And then at some point I need to go shopping. The alum powder should be delivered today. The 1,000 kilometre tea, also known as the 1,000 mile tea, as you've seen in the video earlier on, that's here. So I just need to go and get the oregano, the lemons, the onions, the garlic and the brown molasses sugar, and then we can get on with making this tonic, which is going to be a part of this video. So yeah, make sure you've got your notepads to hand. This is always easier said than done, trying to scare the pigeons to go into the aviary, so I can block the aviary off. Come on. Some of them just don't want to go up. They're all blocked in now into the aviary, and got this board. That just has 2 little screws. Don't put them all the way in. And that way the section is clear for me to do a deep clean. And then when obviously this is deeply cleaned, then I can deep clean the hen section, which is through here, and scare all the hens this way so that I can open the door and do a deep clean with that as well. Having the pigeons in the sections, it allows me to go in there without worrying about any of the birds getting out, without worrying about the dust levels, because obviously I can put my mask on, they're not flapping around. It just allows me to get a better thing, and the pigeons are quite happy in the aviary. There's 18 cocks in there, I think. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, yeah, 18 cocks. 2 of them are not mine. 2 of them have got to go back to Jed's. And I do need to figure out after the season of what ones are going to be staying. I've got 10 pigeons coming for stock this month. Obviously there'll be younger pigeons. A good friend of mine's obviously got me these, so these are top class bloodlines, world class bloodlines. Obviously these pigeons, these bloodlines have bred over 130 first national winners through these bloodlines. So obviously I want them as priority. I don't know if to keep them in a section on their own, just allow them to mature a little bit, or whether to move the cocks from here into my spare section in the other shed, and that'll allow them to then just mature in the aviary sort of thing, so they've got like fresh air. going to give all the drinkers a good wash as well. And I'm going to sterilise them, so give them a bit of a rinse with warm water first. This is more like a weekly routine, what I'm doing now. Apart from the Hoover, I've not done that one before because I've not used it yet. So I'll be using it more often. Warm now, water in there. Got to make sure that you get right in the rim of these because otherwise bacteria can form where it sits. So you can actually see coloration in the actual drinker. And then what I'll do is fill this bit up with cold water. I'll fill this bit up with cold water. And then I'm going to use some Johnson sterilising fluid. Just going to put a couple of drops in there, a couple of drops in there, and I'm going to leave it. I'll leave it for about a good hour. I've got spare drinkers there that I can put in, but I'll leave that for a good hour and let it do its job, let it sterilise them. What I'll do is I'll tip the purple part out and like halfway through, half an hour in, and then I'll put it together, flip it over so it's sterilising like the ring where the water normally sits anyway. Mask is on. See the bin bag. That's the stuff of the young birds. Now we'll clean that section out. With this attachment on the back of the Hoover, I can blow all these nest boxes out, having a funnel pointing out the door because of the dust. As you can see, that is a lot of dust that's coming out of there, and that's probably mainly due to using loft white. But yeah, it'll blow all the dust off the walls and stuff like that, and it's less dust in there for me and the pigeons. So as long as I've got my mask on, I'm alright. obviously the boxes need to dry, but these grills are better than the other ones. As I say, they don't break as easy. They're a bit more flexible. Probably more comfortable to stand on as well, with them being squares rather than the slats. So today I'm going to make the plus tonic. I've been to get all the ingredients, I've had the other ingredients delivered. So I'm going to get straight to it now, show you what ingredients I've got and show you how I make it. So the ingredients that I've got is the 1000 kilometre, also known as 1000 mile tea from Pallets. I've got my 4 onions, I've got my 4 lemons, 4 garlic, dried oregano, muscovi, well, molasses, sugar, all this stuff from Asda. I've always used and I've seen no difference, and the alum powder to stabilise it. I need a jug to measure the water, a large pan that can take the 2 litres, and a lid to fit the large pan. So my lemons are going to be the first thing. Get rid of all that plastic. So I'm going to cut these in 4s. It'd help if I had a sharp knife. This knife is not sharp at all. Neither is that one. Bear with me a sec, guys. Hopefully that does a better job, but yeah, got these cut into 4, straight in the pan. Oh lovely, it's much better. Don't want to put too much pressure because as you can see the juices are coming out of this already. But yeah, you want to leave the skins on these. But with the onions, chop the tail off. Skin it. Again, chopping in 4, straight in the pan. Surprised I'm not crying yet. The smelly bit comes in a minute when we're doing the garlic. It's a bit of a slow video this part, but I want to include as much as possible. I could have just cut 1 onion and then paused it, but we'll see what it's like when we come to editing it. My eyes are starting to water. Don't they say put a spoon in your mouth or something for that? Onions in the shop are just not the same as the onions that you grow. Because the onions that you grow are a lot more powerful. And you cut 1 and your eyes are stinging. I've just cut 4 and yeah, my eyes aren't stinging. Literally just on the verge of watering them, but they didn't. So, garlic bulbs. It's important to do this. So you want to split the cloves off. Split the cloves from the skin. Making sure you separate every one of them and get rid of that root. I won't film all this because this is tedious, and this is the part that leaches into your skin and makes you stink. Bear in mind, If you do not live alone and you have a missus, you may be better cooking this outside on a camping stove or on the barbecue, because this is going to smell the house out. So you have been warned. This will stink. I don't mind it, but it's a smell that takes days to get out of your house. I mean, I love the smell of garlic and that, and it doesn't bother me. It's my dog whining in the background because she likes the smell of garlic as well, but unfortunately she can't have any. So, the skin's away from the garlic now, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crush it to remove the skin off the actual cloves. I found crushing it be the easiest. You don't want to chop it, they go in the pan like that. Crush, skin off. I'll just do a few and we'll skip to it all being done. That's it, all cleaned away. And then we've got our 4 lemon, our 4 onion and our 4 garlic, all apart from the lemon skinned and cut and crushed. Now what I need to do is add 2 litres of water to this and then turn the hob on a low heat. You can see 2 litres just about fits in this pan. So let's get some heat on. Turn it down to about halfway. Let's get the lid on so we can help it bring to the boil. You just got to bring that to the boil now, and then we'll come back for the next step in a minute. So it's been boiling for about 10 minutes now, obviously on a low heat, so it's not hot, but you can still see the onions are starting to split, so that's what we're looking for. And obviously when it comes to the boil, that's when we're going to the next step, and that is adding the sugar. So obviously we need it to completely dissolve the sugar. So this is exactly what we're looking for. So we're going to get the sugar in next. Careful when you're doing this step because it is going to splash. It's quite a hard thing, so that wasn't too bad. Obviously there's so much water in here, but we need to make sure that dissolves and doesn't stick to the bottom and burn. So you just keep stirring it nice and slow until it's dissolved. You'll be able to feel it at the bottom. It's nearly all gone now. You just don't want any of it to stick to the bottom. As you can see, it's turned a nice brown colour now. Now places are selling this tonic at like nearly 16 quid. I think I've just seen it online for £15.95 for the Dave Allen tonic. Now if I add just a standard Columbovac tea to this now, it is the Dave Allen tonic. But if I add obviously the 1000 mile tea and the oregano, it becomes my plus tonic. So you can either use the Dave Allen tonic in the same way as I've just made this now and make the Dave Allen tonic, or you can add these ingredients and you can have the plus tonic. At this stage we are going to let this simmer with the lid on for another 10 minutes again, keeping it at a low heat. So that's been going for another 10 minutes. In my last video I did make a mistake when I said tablespoons instead of I said teaspoons instead of tablespoons with the tea, but it is teaspoons with the oregano, so the spoon doesn't fit in, so doesn't matter if you put a bit too much of this. But yeah, 4 heaped teaspoons of the oregano. So as you can see, it may cost about £20 to originally make this now, but then you're not going to have to buy oregano again, you're not going to have to buy the tea again, and you're going to have enough to make another one with the alum powder. So this won't stir in, but I just want to mix it across the surface. Eventually when it brings back up to sort of boiling point, it'll sink in anyway. Again, 1,000 mile pigeon tea. It says on the bag 1,000 kilometres, but we want 8 spoons of that. So on 8 dessert spoons, tablespoons heaped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just, as I say, spread it across the surface, because this pan cannot take more than the 2 litres of water, but it won't make a difference because it will go down a bit. So now we're going to pop the lid back on and leave it for another 10 minutes. You're not going to need this till pretty much not the next morning but the morning after, but you are going to need a glass jar for the fridge. So these ones that you can get in B&M are ideal. Wondering why my camera was a bit blurry, so for the last bit of the footage I do apologise. When we were cleaning them pigeons out in the dust the other day, this lens was full of dust, so I've just given it a nice wipe and it's clear again. So as I was saying, yeah, you can pick these up in B&M for a couple of quid. Reusable, sealable, and can go in the fridge. It's been another 10 minutes now, so I'm going to take the lid off and scrape everything off the lid. Trying to get it in the pan, not the cooker, because it makes a right mess. And as you can see, the tea's gone like a soggy mess. So push it down. And then turn the heat off. And what we're going to do now is whack the lid back on, move it to the back of the cooker. We're going to leave that overnight as it stands. We're not going to take anything out of it until the morning, and this video is now going to skip to then. It's currently about 8:30 in the morning, and this will be the first 16-mile toss. So the conditions look good, birds look good, time will tell. There's no hanging around with them. We're just gone. Time to go home and see if they're there. Well, that's the birds train this morning. They all came back. Bit knackered though, so I think they're a bit too hot. But yeah, I'm going to crack on with this tonic now, taking the onions and the lemon out, but leaving the garlic in. Can be a bit messy, so I'm going to use that. Here's how the tonic's looking this morning. Everything's obviously sunk. So let's get these lemons and onions out. Let's see how the sugar pretty much dissolves the onion. I'm trying to leave as much of the juice in as possible. Well, we can squeeze this and as much as the garlic as possible, because you're going to want to leave the garlic another 24 hours. So that's all the stuff out of it. I need to put the garlic back in because I just decided it was easier to take the garlic out and then put it back in. But I'm going to add my alum powder now, so 4 spoons of this, slightly heaped. I'm going to stir in well. So here comes the messy part now. The next day, after the garlic's been taken out and the alum powder's been put in, I'm going to try and get it through this cloth, this sieve, to get the big bits out. It's not over once it goes through this. You end up with probably about 1.5 litres. So in that jug now, not all the fine particles have came out, so what we need to do now is get our jar that we're going to be putting it in. Get a tea towel. Make yourself a little sock, for instance, so it's a bit like this. And then this is going to allow the liquid to get all the fine bits out of it and just soak through. You're going to get loads of bits in this, so just move it with the spoon. That'll stop the actual cloth from clogging up. It's important to make sure you clean up quick as well, because it's going to be very, very sticky. So let that drain through now. I suggest rinsing this cloth through before you put it in your washing machine. You don't have to throw it away. It is going to stink though, so put it on quite a long wash. I say I like the smell of the tonic, so it doesn't bother me that much. What I will say is don't put the remnants of this pan in your indoor bin, put it outside. So that is it, 1 jar of plus tonic, and as you can see it's quite fine. once it's being passed through the cloth. No better than that. So what we need to do now is we need to put this in the fridge. Make sure it seals. I want to leave that 7 days minimum in the fridge now to mature. So it's got no bits left in it, no garlic, no onion, no lemon, no tea. We want to leave it 7 days to mature and then use it for 7 days straight at 5 ml per litre, and then use it 2 to 3 times a week. And you'll see the down drop out of them pigeons. You'll see the droppings improve. You'll see the overall feather condition and the wattles will go nice and white. Give it a try. The little thing I wanted to talk about, pigeon losses and hawks. Now, the amount of posts I see on Facebook and social media about hawk problems, and they're the reason why every time we lose a pigeon, the hawk's to blame. Now, is it the hawk that's to blame, or is it the fact that we're constantly marketing inferior quality of pigeons? Like, back in the day, pigeons were raced. They had multiple prize winners, do you know what I mean? Topped the fed multiple times. Nowadays, it seems to be like a pigeon tops the fed once it's in the stock loft. A pigeon wins one big race, it's in the stock loft, which is fine, but then the young ones are sold for tens of thousands of pounds. The pigeon might not have bred anything, so we're all going for like the flavour of the month type of pigeons and buying based on paper, based on pedigree, not based on performance. The reason why we are losing so many pigeons with the mass flood of paper pigeons. Plenty of places I go in town centres and stuff, and I'm seeing a lot of ringed pigeons that have been lost. Now, I go on Facebook, and I was even on Facebook this morning, and I could count 30 pigeons that have been posted to the groups by non-fanciers, pretty much saying, you know, this pigeon's landed in my garden, it's been here a week, and it won't go home. Now, have these pigeons got homing instinct? You know, you've got performance pigeons that are A to B, A to B, A to B, and you've got the pigeons that are giving up and going down and looking for food in people's gardens and looking in the gutters for a drink, like not even attempt at getting home. But the hawks can't be to blame for that. We need to stop blaming the hawks, and I do feel for people that have got a hawk problem at home where they're getting absolutely bombarded daily. Now, that is a hawk problem, but every pigeon you lose is not because of a hawk. Every time you lose a pigeon, it could be completely irrelevant to a hawk. There might not be a hawk involved, as you know. It could be the fact that these pigeons are bred off pigeons that... Now, what I'm trying to say is, are we weakening our genetics in our pigeons and weakening the homing ability by breeding off pigeons that not necessarily going to breed pigeons that have got the ability to win? Are we ruining the sport by asking so much for pigeons? Tens and 20 thousands of pounds at Blackpool. Are we ruining the sport by asking that much for pigeons? When realistically, the young ones are just going to be sold to make money, left, right and centre. One thing I have seen is pigeons that are bought for a massive amount of money. It's a business transaction. So therefore, they're not going to cease breeding off that pigeon, even if it's not breeding good quality pigeons. They'd probably then put the pigeon back up for sale, rather than doing what would be done if it was a pigeon for 50 or 100 pounds, or, you know, like a racing priced pigeon. Like, it'd go back on the market to then fill someone else's loft full of non-superior pigeons. If big money wasn't involved in pigeons like that, would the quality of our pigeons increase? Because selection's at a lower cost. You can select your pigeons, you can race your pigeons, they've not cost you tens and thousands of pounds that you've got to try and recoup that money back. Would it improve our sport if they were just good, honest pigeons? Food for thought. I'm going to wrap this video up now. I'm going to go back to training my own pigeons, concentrating on the allotments and stuff. So therefore, if you are liking these videos, please hit that subscribe button. It means a lot. Please watch the videos through. As you can see, you know, I get my my pigeon products and stuff like that by watching these videos, so it's helping me. I'll catch you all later.